Minister deliberates on identifying and removal of multiple bogus enrollments, increasing Aadhaar linkages. On Human Rights Day, Chief Minister says protection of human rights is the highest form of service to mankind. In Manipur, Argentina supporters, including Chief Minister, and were in Europe in celebrations after Argentina and Lionel Messi kept their World Cup dream alive, defeating Netherlands 4-3. And Manipur University Vice-Chancellor Professor Narem Lokendra cautions youth not to fall into invisible colonization of mind by social media. Hello, you're watching IS English News. Before we begin, IS News would like to remind our viewers to practice physical distancing, hand hygiene, wear masks, protect yourself and get vaccinated to ward off COVID-19. I'm Jay now, giving you the news in detail. Chief Minister Nongthong Mambirin chaired a meeting with Deputy Commissioner and Subdivisional Officers of various districts today. The meeting was held at the CM Bungalow lawn. During the meet, the Chief Minister and the team held deliberation on identifying and removal of multiple bogus enrollments, increasing Aadhaar linkages, etc., as well as the viable means for determination of the actual population figure of the state. Participants at the meet also briefed the Chief Minister on reports regarding the same. According to the website Population Iscom, the population of Manipur in 2022 is estimated to be 3.2 million 32 lakh. It is projected to be 31.94 lakh as per Unique Identification Aadhaar India updated on March 31st, 2022. Manipur is the 24th populous state in the country. Mention may be made here that the state government, in concern over the influx of illegal migrants into the state, has been carrying out anti-fake Aadhaar card drive in various parts of the state. During one such drive earlier this year, Manipur police arrested as many as 3 Myanmar nationals carrying fake Aadhaar cards along with Myanmar identification cards in Kaching district. Police also arrested a person involved in obtaining Aadhaar card for an illegal immigrant from Bangladesh. A travel agency outlet at Lilong Bazaar was shut down for making the fake Aadhaar card. Chief Minister has called upon everyone to reaffirm the pledge to honor one another's rights as well as duties on the occasion of Human Rights Day. The Chief Minister took to his Twitter post to wish the people on the occasion of Human Rights Day today. He said that protection of human rights is the highest form of service to mankind. Human Rights Day is being observed across the state today, organized by various organizations and associations. The annual event is observed in commemoration of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, by the United Nations General Assembly in 1948. The day focuses on the fundamental rights and liberties to which all people worldwide are entitled simply by virtue of their humanity. It celebrates and advocates for rights that transcend nationality, gender, ethnicity, race, sexual orientation, religion, or any other distinction. In Manipur, Argentina supporters erupted in celebrations after Argentina and Lionel Messi kept their World Cup dream alive on a nervy night as they defeated Netherlands 4-3 on penalties to reach the semi-finals yesterday. Among them was Chief Minister Nongthong Mambirin, who erupted in joy and jubilation after Argentina's stunning victory over Netherlands at the FIFA World Cup quarter-finals. Chief Minister Mambirin took to his official Facebook account to express his excitement with various posts. Earlier, Chief Minister and Bahrain wrote a post supporting Argentina in the quarter-finals against Netherlands and urged the public to support the team. The footballer turned politician Bahrain was enthusiastically active on his Facebook account when the match began, posting updates of the match scores and even interacting with those who commented on his post. In a post, the Chief Minister jokingly even dared of placing bets with the people. Following Argentina's win, Bahrain expressed happiness and even patted himself on the back. Argentina will now face the last edition's runners-up, Croatia, who knocked Brazil out of the tournament with a shootout win in the last four stage on Wednesday. Department of Law, Manipur University organized a discussion program as part of the International Human Rights Day 2022 observance today. The event was held on the theme Dignity, Freedom and Justice for All at the department's campus. Speaking at the event, Vice-Chancellor of Manipur University, Professor Naurem Lokendra, highlighted the positive and negative aspects of social media. He expressed concern over the excessive social media use by youths and students, adding that they spend at least 6-7 hours on social media daily and asserted that the same has considerably affected and disturbed their original creativity. He urged the students and youths to be careful, saying too much exposure in social media can impact their career. Speaking about the British colonialism in India, Professor Lokendra said that the Indian education system was inherited from the British. He went on to say that various ideas and concepts of Western epistemology were learned from them, albeit the British colonialism has given a distorted picture of history of Manipur, including that of Nagas and other tribes. He asserted that the effects of colonialism is still being felt to this day and cited the post-modern digital colonialism as a clear example. The skills and values of the youths have been intellectually colonized by the international social media companies such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. The professor remarked and cautioned the youths not to fall into the invisible colonization of mind in the name of more socialization via such companies and urged them to introspect and start intervening in important issues and give proper, rational and realistic assessment of what is taking place. He also gave an insight into the values of Indian Constitution and urged the students to read and understand the Constitution to help solve various administrative problems. The Manipur University Vice-Chancellor also lauded the Law Department for taking the
mandate. It is necessary that we should all have a very modernized international order. But the negative aspect is that because of too much exposure and too much spending of your precious time in all these social net platforms, your mind has been sliced, into different segments. And because of too much of this exposure, your original creativity.
People across the globe are observing Human Rights Day today. This year's theme is Dignity, Freedom, and Justice for All. This year also marks the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The date was chosen to honor the United Nations General Assembly adoption and proclamation on 10 December 1948 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, UDHR, the first global enunciation of human rights and one of the first major achievements of the new United Nations. The formal establishment of Human Rights Day occurred at the 317th plenary meeting of the General Assembly of 4 December 1950, when the General Assembly declared a resolution inviting all member states and any other interested organizations to celebrate the day as they saw fit. The day is normally marked both by high-level political conferences and meetings and by cultural events and exhibitions dealing with human rights issues. Besides, the 5-yearly United Nations Prize in the field of human rights and Nobel Peace Prize will also be awarded. Many governmental and non-governmental organizations active in the human rights field also schedule special events to commemorate the day, as do many civil and social cause organizations. Meanwhile, the United Nations has said that the freedoms enshrined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights will remain as relevant as ever. World Health Organization said in the decades since the adoption of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights in 1948, human rights have become more recognized and more guaranteed across the globe, adding that the day focuses also on vulnerable groups such as persons with disabilities, indigenous people, and migrants. Wildlife and Biodiversity Conservation Committee, WBCC Manipur, has loaded Thobal Forest Range staff and beat staff for the recent anti-poaching drive at Iscom Path under Thobal Range on November 4th. Notably, during the drive, the team, led by Divisional Forest Officer, Thobal Forest Division, T.H. Lokendro, arrested 5 individuals, including 2 Central Forces personnel, for shooting and killing birds, besides seizing hunting guns from their possession. The committee, headed by its president, Rabi Takalambam, in appreciation, feted the team, who took part in the drive with simple gifts during an event at Thobal Forest Division office today. Speaking on the sidelines of the event, DFO T.H. Lokendro said that a case was registered against the bird poachers and imposed a fine of 1,25,000 rupees under Wildlife Protection Act 1972. He added that the state government has confiscated the seized hunting guns and the vehicle used in the poaching activity and has listed it as government property. He further warned of stringent action against those found indulging in trapping and killing wild birds.
Wildlife Protection Act 1972 की मखादा हाई म्यूजिंग असी maximum penalty वैना सिंग मा कुमा लौदना 1,25,000 फाइन तोगरे वैना ना मकोइना दोंगकवा मारुति स्विफ्ट अंगुबा सिसु स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की वैना confiscate तोगरे वैना ना मकोइना पायरप नोमई डबल बैरल अमदी एयरगन चिंबसिंग असे वैना confiscate तोगरे स्टेट गवर्नमेंट की प्रॉपर्टी वैना वैना confiscate कर ठोकरे वैना ना हमदा चल पसिदा खलमखा चेखया कोई लेइबुवे लेजिंग तारे अदुना मियामना मकोइसिंगु ngak senbiduna मकोइसिंगजिगे हानेगी मफमदा मु हनिदु तमदा मतेंग पांबिउ लोइना लमनकी सा चे हापी गनु करिमा कनागुना हातपा थिमेब्रेदी फॉरेस्ट डिपार्टमेंट पाउ पीबिउ लमनकी सा चिची मरम जादन हातपा तारगदी वाइल्डलाइफ प्रोटेक्शन एक्ट की मतुंगिना दंदी फंगनी.
The Tamenglong Battalion, under the aegis of 22 Sector IGRAs, organized a one-day free wellness camp at Tamai village in Tamenglong district today. The battalion medical staff, along with a civil doctor, checked up around 210 civilians, including 87 women and 48 children, and also provided them with free medicines. Speaking on the sidelines of the event, Commandant of 44th Assam Rifles thanked the medical team for their assistance and further assured to continue extending all possible help to the locals. It may be mentioned that the battalion has organized health and wellness camps as many as 57 times in Tamenglong and nearby villages till date. International Human Rights Day was also observed in Thobal district today. NFI Field Office Thobal organized the event on this year's theme Dignity, Freedom and Justice for All at Wangji. The event was supported by the National Foundation of India, New Delhi, and co-funded by European Union. A roundtable discussion on the Universal Declaration of Human Rights and discussions around Sustainable Development Goals 2030 was also held as part of the program. A documentary on SDG 2030 was also showcased on the occasion. Members of Women in Governance Wing, Thobal, women leaders and youths attended the program. The Northeast Students Organization on Friday said it would observe December 11th as Black Day across the region in protest against the Citizenship Amendment Act or CAA. On December 11, 2019, Rajya Sabha approved the Citizenship Amendment Bill, completing the legislative procedure for giving Indian citizenship to non-Muslim migrants from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladesh. December 11 will always be remembered as a Black Day for the entire Northeast, NESO Chairman Samuel Jeriwa said in Shillong. Members of the NESO, the umbrella organization of the influential students' bodies in the northeastern states, will put up black flags and black banners in important places across the region. Quote, "This demonstration is to give a message to the government of India that we are against the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, urging the people of the region to unite against the draconian law." Jera said it was yet another political injustice that the indigenous people of the Northeast have to face. The CAA seeks to provide Indian citizenship to Hindus, Jains, Christians, Sikhs, Buddhists, and Parsis entering India on or before December 31st, 2014 from Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan after 5 years of residence in the country. President Draupadi Murmu has stressed the need for expanding the notion of justice among all. She said developing sensitivity and sympathy is the key to promoting human rights. Addressing the 74th Human Rights Day celebrations in New Delhi today, President Murmu said there is a so-called golden rule which says, quote, "Treat others as you would like them to treat you," unquote, and asserted that the same sums up the human rights discourse beautifully. Talking about the initiatives National Human Rights Commission has taken in the last year, President Murmu said that National Human Rights Commission has been making the best possible efforts to spread awareness about human rights. She said in its 30 years, the Commission has done a commendable job of protecting as well as promoting human rights. On challenges of climate change being faced by the entire world, the President said that the challenges are enormous and forcing people to redefine the concept of human rights and stress the need to consider the environmental dimensions of justice now. She maintained that people must relearn to treat nature with dignity, as it is not only a moral duty but necessary for survival of human too. COVID-19 cases in India witnessed a marked decline, with the country reporting 210 fresh infections in the past 24 hours, taking the total tally of COVID-19 cases to 4,46,74,649, while the number of active cases of the infection has dipped to 4,047, which constitute 0.01% of the total infections. A decrease of 181 cases has been recorded in the active COVID-19 caseload in a span of 24 hours. As per the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the death toll due to the viral disease is at 5,30,654 with just one new fatality. Meanwhile, the number of people who have recuperated from the disease has gone up to 4,41,39,948. The country's recovery rate stands at 98.80%. Over 219.96 crore vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Top 3 states contributing maximum number of COVID-19 cases to India's tally are Maharashtra, Kerala and Karnataka. Meanwhile, in the northeast India, Assam has the highest number of active cases, followed by Mizoram and Meghalaya. COVID-19 has infected over 65 crore 30 lakh, while more than 66 lakh 57,000 have succumbed to the dreaded coronavirus, and recoveries are above 62 crore 87 lakh. Globally, USA has the highest COVID-19 cases, followed by India and France. Bhupendra Patel will continue as the Chief Minister of Gujarat for a second straight term, with the newly elected Bharatiya Janata Party (BJP) MLAs electing him as the leader of the legislative party during a meeting today. Patel's name was declared as the leader of the legislative party unanimously at a meeting held at the party's state headquarters, Kamalam. The BJP, in a statement, said that the newly elected MLAs unanimously resolved to name Bhupendra Patel as the Chief Minister of Gujarat. Patel had resigned as the Chief Minister along with his entire cabinet on Friday to pave the way for formation of a new government in the state after the BJP registered a landslide victory in the just concluded assembly elections. Senior BJP leaders Rajnath Singh, B.S. Yediyurappa and Arjun Munda were present for the meeting as the party's central observers. Patel won a second straight term from the Gadlodia assembly seat in Ahmedabad district by 1.92 lakh votes in this year's election. In September last year, he had replaced Vijay Rupani as the Chief Minister. The BJP registered a historic victory in Gujarat by clinching 156 seats in the 182-member House on Thursday, much higher than its tally of 99 seats in 2017. The party had already announced that the swearing-in ceremony of the new government will take place on December 12, where Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah will be present along with Chief Minister of BJP-ruled states. Now it's time for a short commercial break. We will be back with latest news and updates. Keep watching IS News.
Lions Club of Imphal, Lions District 322D na miyamda khanganjaba. Lions Eye Hospital Sangai Puroda, December 2022 gi ahanba eye screening OPD asi lakriba December gi tang taramathoi English ani ga supna kunithoi gi ayuki pung tara dagi numit ungba pung taranithoi fauba pangthoklagani. Kanagumbana mid checkup tawbining labadi matakta thamjariba khudong chaba asi lobinanaba Lions Club Imphal gi Secretary Lion Manas Maisnamna pauzelakli.
Electric laktabana maram oduna asabi ising panglar hybrid sa thiningai leitraba. Thompson Solar Water Heater. Contact number 9862669522. Aikhoigi address Hairangoidung Nitamja Karong, Imphal West.
Welcome back. You're watching IS English News. Russia's war in Ukraine, chaos in Haiti, and rising violence by criminal groups in Mexico have contributed to a rise in the number of journalists killed doing their work in 2022. According to a new report by the International Federation of Journalists, IFJ, 67 journalists and media workers have been killed around the world so far this year, up from 47 in 2021. More media workers were killed covering the war in Ukraine, 12 in total, than in any other country this year, according to the IFJ. Most of them were Ukrainian journalists, but several foreign reporters also died, with many deaths occurring in the first chaotic weeks of the war. The IFJ report also called out the fatal shooting of Al Jazeera journalist Shireen Abu Akleh, who was killed by Israeli forces on May 11th as she was covering an Israeli military raid on a refugee camp in Jenin in the northern occupied West Bank. The Al Jazeera network this week formally requested the International Criminal Court investigate and prosecute those responsible for killing Abu Akleh. IFJ also recorded at least 375 media professionals to 10 more last year. Currently, in prison for doing their job. Most of those jailed are in China, Myanmar, Turkey, Iran, and Belarus. With the number of media workers killed on the rise, the IFJ and other media rights groups have called on governments to take more concrete action to protect journalists as well as media freedom. Tens of thousands of supporters of Bangladesh main opposition party have gathered in Dhaka to protest against the government led by Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina and demanded new elections. The protesters rallied on Saturday at the Golab Bagh sports ground, where the crowd chanted, "Sheikh Hasina is a vote thief," amid heightened tensions in the Bangladeshi capital. The rally comes day after security forces stormed the headquarters of the opposition Bangladesh Nationalist Party (BNP) and arrested 2 BNP leaders on allegations of inciting violence on Tuesday. At least one person died and dozens of others were injured in the raid. Anti-government protests have erupted across the country in recent months, triggered by power cuts and fuel price hikes. It is said that around 2 lakh people had joined today's rally. The protests have been peaceful, but SWAT teams, counter-terrorism units, and canine squads were on standby to avoid any untoward incidents. Western governments, the United Nations, and human rights organizations have raised concern over the political climate and human rights violations in Bangladesh. Now we have the sports news. Portugal and Morocco will lock horns in the quarterfinal of FIFA World Cup 2022 today. Portugal are competing for their first ever title, while there is clout over the participation of captain Cristiano Ronaldo, as he was benched in the round of 16 match against Switzerland. Morocco are on a high after beating Spain in the round of 16 to storm into the quarterfinal. The match will begin at 8:30 p.m. Meanwhile, all eyes will be on Client once again as France take on England in another mouth-watering World Cup quarter-final clash, but the defending champion must hope its lake of options from the bench will not be exposed today. On the other hand, Harry, Jordan, Bukayo and the rest of the England squad are warming up to face their French opponents, the Al Bayad Stadium in Qatar at 12:30 a.m. England are expected to name as an unchanged team to face France. Meanwhile, World Cup favorites Brazil were sensationally knocked out by Croatia yesterday. After a goalless 90 minutes, Neymar gave Brazil the lead in the extra time only by Bruno Petkovic to score with just 4 minutes remaining. Bruno dramatically cancelled out Neymar's extra time breakthrough to send the game to penalties, and Croatia won the shootout 4-2 with Marquinhos missing the decisive spot kick. On the other hand, Argentina goalkeeper Emi saved penalties from Virgil van Dijk and Steven before Lautaro scored the winning spot kick to secure them at 4-3 shootout win over the Netherlands after their World Cup quarter-final finished 2-2 after 120 minutes. Argentina captain Lionel Messi superbly set up Molina for their first half opener before converting a penalty kick to put his side on course to face Croatia for a place in the final. Argentina will next face Croatia on Tuesday for the place in the final. In women's cricket, Australia defeated India by 9 wickets in the first T20 international of the 5-match series at D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai last night. Chasing 173 runs for victory, Australia reached the target with 9 wickets in hand and 11 balls to spare. Bat Mooney scored unbeaten 89 and McGrath contributed 40 runs for their visitors. Earlier put into bat, India scored 172 runs for the loss of 5 wickets in the stipulated 20 overs. For India, Richa Ghosh and Dipti Sharma scored 36 runs each. For Australia, Perry took 2 wickets. The second T20I will be played at D.Y. Patil Stadium in Navi Mumbai tomorrow. The remaining 3 matches will be played at the Barboni Stadium, Mumbai on 14th, 17th and 20th of this month. The series will be a good warm-up for both sides ahead of next year's Women's T20 World Cup set to be held in South Africa in February 2023. Before we end, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Chief Minister deliberates on identifying and removal of multiple bogus enrollments increasing Aadhaar linkages. On Human Rights Day, Chief Minister says protection of human rights is the highest form of service to mankind. In Manipur, Argentina supporters, including Chief Minister and Bahrain, erupt in celebrations after Argentina and Lionel Messi kept their World Cup dream alive, defeating Netherlands 4-3. And Manipur University Vice-Chancellor Professor Narem Lokendra cautions youth not to fall into invisible colonization of mind by social media. That's all we have in this bulletin. Keep watching IS News.